this video because I saw a woman say that I know that the man has the authority over the woman, but she was very confused because these Israelite camps are teaching idolatry, and she was scared to go against it because she thought she would be going against Yah. Well, let me show you, sisters, daughters of Zion. We are supposed to seek the Most High Yah with all our heart. We can go straight to Yah. We don't have to have an interceder. We don't have to have an in-between. We do not have to have an in-between. We can go straight to Yah. So these are different things to show you this. Okay, so let's go and read this. So in the Stone Edition Tanakh, in the Sefer, in the Septuagint, in the Apocrypha, I have given you so many different references to show you this. Several key figures and law highlights women teaching the laws, divine instruction, and men serving as protectors during war. Women teaching and delivering the law. These scriptures document women acting as authoritative teachers and messengers of the law, the Torah, and the commandments, often instructing the highest ranking men in the nations. Deborah, Sophet, she was a Sophet, she was a judge, and she was a prophetess. Where? In Judges 4:4-6. Her role, she sat under the palm of Deborah, where the Israelites came up to her for judgment regarding the law. She summoned the military leaders, Barak, and instructed him on specific commands the Most High Yah had given regarding upcoming war. Huldah, she's a prophetess. Verses that you can find this in 2 Kings 22:14-20, and 2 Chronicles 34:22-28. Her role, when the book of the law was rediscovered, King Josiah sent a delegation of high-ranking men, priests, and scribes to her. She officially validated the scroll as the word of the Most High Yah and taught its implications to the king's men, leading to national spiritual reform. She taught it to them. Judith, in the Apocrypha, in the Septuagint, verses Judith 8:9-36. Judith rebukes the elders of her cities for their lack of faith in the Most High Yah's laws and promises. She teaches them the correct theology stance and then acts to save the nations through her own intervention. Men protecting and rule of war. The scripture defines male role as a physical protector and a primary combatant, while also providing law to protect women during these times of conflict. Men as a fighting force. Verses Deuteronomy 20:10-14. Biblical law mandate the men go out to war. Specifies exemptions were even made for men who had recently betrothed a wife, built a house, or planted a vineyard, so they could return home and fulfill their roles. Deuteronomy 25-8. Protecting a female captive. Exut Yafat Torah. It's Deuteronomy 21:10-14. Found in the Stone Edition, not in the Sefer. Under Devarim. These laws regulate how a soldier must treat a woman captured in war. He cannot not immediately marry her. He had to allow her a month of mourning and ensure she was treated with human dignity rather than as a mere object of war. Barak and Deborah's partnership. Verses Judges 4:8-9. While Deborah provided the spiritual and legal instructions, she called up Barak to lead the 10,000 men in physical battle. Barak famously refused to go into the field of battle unless spiritual teacher Deborah went with him to protect and guide. So, there's so many things that shows you. Let's go over here. Judith, we did that one already. Now she used to sit under the palm tree, and the people of Israel came up for her judgment, indicating she held a position of judicial and legal authority and taught and administrated law to both men and women. She summoned Baruch. You hear that? Sound confirmation. The Israelites' commander, and instructed him to go to war, delivered a message from the Most High God. And when Baruch hesitated and insisted she go with him, she agreed, but prophesied that the honor of defeating the enemy general, Sarah, would go to the woman. Jael judges, highlights men role in battlefield, but also women authority and involvement in the outcome. Apocrypha, Deuteronomy book. In the Sefer, the book features Judith, a pious widow who saves her city from the Assyrians. She instructs the elders of the city on a plan to defeat the enemy, demonstrating leadership and strategic wisdom. Judith 8:9-36. After she beheads the enemy general, Hopharim, she tells the people to attack the Assyrians at daybreak, effectively issues a military command, and lead the people to victory. General laws concerning war. Deuteronomy 20-22 primarily addresses men and their conduct during battle, with women and children typically remaining behind and being addressed as potential captives. The passage mentions above are examples of women acting outside of these general norms due to specific divine calling and extraordinary circumstances. Let's go and look at this. In the Stone edition to Tanakh, Sefer, Septuagint, Apocrypha, several verses highlight women as teachers or spiritual authority over men and the nations of Israel. Huldah, a primary example of a woman whose spiritual authority and knowledge of the law was sought by the highest ranking men in Israel, including the king and the high priest. 2 Kings. When the book of the law, the Torah, was rediscovered in the temple, King Josiah sent the high priest Hilkiah and several other high-ranking male officials to consult Huldah. 2 Chronicles 34. These verses recount the same event, confirming that she verified the authenticity of the law and provided an authoritative interpretation and prophecy to the king's emissaries. Rabbinic tradition, often noted in the Stone edition commentaries. At the bottom, at the bottom of my book I'll be showing, some traditions identify her as Mishnah, second quarter, resident of a house of study where she taught oral law. She was a Mishnah. She had a house of study where she taught oral law. That is in the bottom of my book. I told you the Stone edition Tanakh that I have. At the bottom, they put in the stuff that's left out. Well, what was left out, that she had a house of study. She had a house of study. Let's go over here. Wisdom literary frequently highlighted the mother role in teaching religious and moral laws. Proverbs 1:8 and 6:8, both verses command, do not forsake the Torah teachings of your mother. Do not forsake the Torah teachings of your mother. This confirms that a mother's instructions in the law is equal in weight to the father's. Proverbs 31:1. The chapter begins with the word of King Lemuel. This prophesied that his mother taught him, showing a woman teaching a king. Figures in the Apocrypha. In the Septuagint, we did Judith. Let's go to the Maccabees. In the Maccabees, the mother of the 7 martyrs is depicted as a teacher of her sons, encouraging them to die for the law rather than violate it. She is praised for her noble reason and mastery over the law. In the Septuagint, the term used for mother's instruction is Proverb 1 is themos, law, ordinance, emphasizing her role as a legal instructor. Themos. Themos. Copy. Let's go find out. Oh. Boo, 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 boo. Now we just learned that themos means a woman instructor, a woman instructor of the law. Here, my son, your father's instructions, and do not forsake the themos of your mother. Do not, that's themos means the teachings of the law. The term appears in some books in Apocrypha, which are included in the Septuagint canon and some Christian Bibles. The Greek text for Esther contains the editions where the term appears as legal royal decree context. So, her being a themos, Esther was. Wisdom of Solomon. The book often uses the Greek philosophy of legal terminology, and themos is found in discussion in divine law. In the Wisdom of Solomon, they talks about women being the themos. In the Ecclesiastes, Sirach, and Second Maccabees, these books also contain the term referring a divine or human law statutes. Come on now. Come on now. Come on. Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, the word themos is a Greek term, therefore does not appear in the original Hebrew text. The Hebrew uses the word chekma or mitzvah. Oh, so let's go see this. Oh, because we learned it today. We need to learn our real language so we can know what. Let's learn our real language, y'all. So let's go over here. Y'all see how I be doing this? I go and translate so I can know what it really says, because Hebrew is very defined. The concept is a list of every verse containing specific terms, chakma, statutes, decrees, mitzvah, judgment, and orders across all request texts would be extensive, and the term appears frequently through legal sections in the Hebrew. So, the user is asking specific verses where the word chakma are used in a feminine grammatical form. So, so where is it used in the feminine? Exodus 21, 7 through 11. If a man sells his daughter as a servant, she does not go free like male servants. Her master must provide food, clothing, marital rights, even if he takes another wife. Protecting the pregnant woman. If fighting cause a woman to miscarry, then the offender must pay a fine determined by the husband's judge. Inheritance. daughters of Zebulun, daughters are granted the right to inherit land if there's no sons, provided they're married within their tribe. Numbers 27, 11, 1 through 11, 36 through 11. Protection of widow is strictly forbid to mistreat or oppress a widow. If they cry out to the Most High Yah, He will hear them. Exodus 22, 21 through 24, Deuteronomy 10 through 18, 24 through 17. Slander of a new wife. If a man falsely accuses his new wife of not being a virgin, and he is fine and cannot ever divorce her, Deuteronomy 22, 13 through 21. Adulterous law. Susan trial in the Apocrypha highlights the legal requirement for 2 witnesses and the death penalty for adulterers. Susanna, Daniel 13, Leviticus 20 and 10, and Deuteronomy 22 and 20. Chukma, status and decrees. The law relates to ritual purity, holiness, and specific divine commands unique to female biological and status. Ritual purity after childbirth. Specific periods of ritual impurity, Nada, following the birth of her son, versus daughters. Laws of menstruation, ritual impurity during and after a woman's monthly cycle. So, trial of jealousy, a ritual involving bitter water for a woman's suspected infidelity of husband. Prohibiting of sorcerers, a specific decree against allowing female practitioners of sorcerers to live. You cannot live, women. Vows of a woman. A woman's father or husband has the right to annul her vows on the day he hears them. If he remains silent, the vow stands. Women can make vows. So, we have authority, women. That's what I'm trying to show you. We can... Oh, I know what's the other one to show you. Because the woman that I saw, the sister that I saw, she was so afraid. She was so afraid, and I feel so bad for her because she feel like she can't go to Yah. She can't go to Yah. You can't go to Yah. All verses. While women in the Tanakh and Septuagint Sefer pray directly to Yahweh in moments of distress, thanksgiving, intercession, there were no specific verses where women prayed and recording as being explicit about laws or commandments themselves. In Hannah prayed to Yah for deep distress, vowing that if she was granted a son, she would dedicate him to the Most High Yah servant as a Nazarite. Her prayers of thanksgiving also reference and is a powerful song of praise of the Most High Yah work, not discussion allowed. Miriam, after crossing the Red Sea, Miriam leads the woman in a strong song of praise to the Most High Yah for the victory over the Egyptians, celebrating the Most High Yah's power. Deborah, a prophetess and judge who ensured people followed the Most High Yah's commandment. Her recorded prayer is a song of victory and praise after the defeat of the Canaanite army. Abigail pleaded with David to spare her household from Nabal's foolishness, referencing the Most High Yah protecting and judges. Huldah, Huldah was a prophetess whom King Josiah, high priest, consulted after finding the book of the law. While she verified the scroll was the word of the Most High Yah and prophesied concerning the coming judgment based on the people's disobedience to the law. In the text recording her prophecy, the Most High Yah, the Yah's word through her, not her own personal prayer about the law. In the Septuagint, Judith, we see Susanna. Susanna was falsely accused. Susanna cried out to the Most High Yah to save her, choosing to fall into the Yah's hands rather than sin. Judith offered several prayers to the Most High Yah for strength and guidance before and after killing Hophernes, asking the Most High Yah to help her people and vindicate them. Her prayers are for deliverance and align with the Most High Yah's will for Israel's protection. So, daughters, we have to seek the Most High Yah with all our heart and all our soul. And you cannot wait on the man to do it. Each person is responsible for their own souls. You are responsible. He will not go to your husband because of your sin. He's going straight to you. He's going straight to you. And you better remember that. And y'all better get in there and study these words and follow these laws, statutes, commandments. And stop waiting on these camps to choose to do the right thing. And you're going to find yourself wanting on Judgment Day. Give y'all the praise, give y'all the glory, and give y'all the esteem. All praise to the Most High Yah and Him alone. Hallelujah.